Now, of course, September 21st will be Riyadh season Wembley edition, as it will be Anthony Joshua attempting to become champion once again, taking on the newly crowned IBF heavyweight world champion Daniel Dubois. Now, of course, in the undercard, very nice fights. We're not going to be talking about all of them, but unfortunately, the Liam Smith fight off. It's been replaced, but we're not going to talk about that one. It's boring now. But anyways, of course, you have Joshua Baty taking on Willie Hutchinson. Very nice. The IBO champion Anthony Cacace will be taking on the former IBF featherweight world champion Josh Warrington. That's right, IBO, because supposedly they're saying, and it seems very much likely, that Anthony Cacace will not be defending his IBF super featherweight world title, as Warrington is coming off of 2 straight losses, 1 stoppage loss, and he's also not ranked, so they're not going to give him the title shot. But another one is Tyler Denny will be taking on the undefeated Hamza Sheeraz. Very nice. But anyways, we'll talk about the Hutchinson-Baty fight first. Of course, Willie Hutchinson, the Hutch train, is 18-1, 13 wins by way of knockout, and 1 loss by way of knockout. Of course, he is coming off of the unanimous decision win against Craig Richards. Somewhat dominant win, sometimes not. It depends. He was hurt badly in the fight. But before that, his 1 loss came at 2021 against Lennox Clark. 5th round stoppage. Because before that, oh my god, his resume, oh, what the hell? It's all over the place. Maybe not that good. But he has been progressing nicely. He has a weird style. I guess you could call it the drunken style. Very much upper body movement. Good defense, but not really more blocking defense. More like a, oh, you just whiff type defense. Right, but anyway, he's taking on the number 5 ranked on BoxRec, Joshua Baty, 18-0, 13 wins by way of knockout. Of course, he is coming off of 2 straight undefeated wins. Unanimous decision against Dan Aziz and Paul Stepien. As a matter of fact, he's actually coming off of 3 unanimous decision wins, which of course is half of his decision wins, which is good, I guess. His last decision win was back in 2018, so that says something. But look at his resume. It's great. He's also beaten Daniel Blenda dos Santos 15-0, Marco Calic 11-0. Of course, you don't have to be undefeated to be a great fighter, but it's always good to have undefeated opponents, right? But they both have a similar opponent on their records. That's right, Craig Richards. Now, of course, Richards' fight with Baty was a lot closer than his fight with Hutchins. Right, not Hitchens, Hutchins. But he also hurt Hutchinson. So, obviously, it wasn't as close, but it also could have been stopped. And, of course, Baty, great fighter, fighting great people. But I don't think it's gonna go his way this time. Look, I doubted Hutchinson once. I will not doubt him again. He has a weird style, which is very much annoying for most people. And he did it for 12 rounds, so obviously he has the stamina for it. Of course, he may want to keep his hands up when he does it, but he has power, he has pop. And of course, although he didn't really hurt Richards, he also kind of just drained his energy. People were saying Richards wasn't himself, which I guess can make sense, but it also just could have been Hutchinson's style. No one likes it. But it's 20. He also is 26, so he's relatively still very young. But I do think this will be Hutchinson's best win. I think he stops Baty. That's what I'm saying. He stops Baty in like the 9th round. I think he's gonna get it. I think he's gonna get it in his head with the style. I think he's just gonna be overwhelmed. Like, what the hell? He's moving. He's out here moving everywhere. I can't do anything, and he gets caught. Boom, and he gets knocked out. But anyways, next fight, very weird fight, is Anthony Cacace versus Josh Warrington. Of course, Josh Warrington used to be the featherweight world champion, but is now 31-3 with 1 draw, 8 wins by way of knockout and 2 losses by way of knockout. Of course, 2 of his losses actually most of their losses and draw come relatively close to each other. He first lost to Mauricio Lara, 9th round stoppage, and then went technical decision by headbutting Lara. Then won TKO against Kiko Martinez by headbutting him and basically blinding him. He then lost majority decision while also headbutting Luis Alberto Lopez, where he lost his title. Then he he lost to Lee Wood, stoppage loss in the 7th round. He did look somewhat good, but it didn't really matter because he got knocked out badly. Also, Warrington got deducted a point for rabbit punches. So yeah, this guy is very dirty. Very, very dirty. But he'll be facing Anthony Cacace, the IBF and IBO Super Featherweight World title. 22-1, 8 wins by way of knockout. They have the same amount of knockouts, but he is coming off of a knockout win against Joe Cordina in the 8th round. I mean, the reason why he got stopped, or he stopped them, is because, well, they were supposed to separate. They weren't supposed to punch. He punched. He hurt Cordina. He never really recovered from that. So people say protect yourself at all times, but the ref also says listen to my commands at all times as well. So maybe next time listen. But anyways, doesn't really matter. I hope none of these guys win. I hope they both lose by knockout, but whatever. Of course, his one loss was to Martin J. Ward, unanimous decision, somewhat close fight, 17-0 and 2. They both have weird fight styles. Of course, Cacace is 35, so he is the older guy, and Warrington, he's just playing dirty. You know, he's either running with his headbutt you, and at this point probably even rabbit punch you. But Cacace, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Cacace is most likely probably going to win the unanimous decision, especially because he will no longer be restricted by the IBF rehydration clause. So maybe he'll do better. But I don't know. I just hope Warrington loses. I don't care. Knockout decision, I don't care. I just hope he loses. But anyways, is that biased? Yes, it is. But just watch his fights. You'll know why. But anyways, the next fight is Tyler Denny. We're taking on the undefeated Hamza Sheeraz. Of course, Sheeraz is 20-0 with 16 wins by way of knockout. He is ranked number 3 on BoxRec for some reason. Of course, I get it. BoxRec is like algorithms and computers and stuff, not to be taken literally. Well, first of all, Jamal Charlo got dethroned. Now it's Laura. Let's go. He's now the king. But Sheeraz is somehow above Janibek, the unified world champion. How the hell is he above the damn unified world champion? I do not know. Not to mention, he's also above some other was it Kazakhstan fighter, but I don't know. I don't know why he's above the champion. He's above, at least he's not above the WBA champion, but he's above the WBC champion, so that's something. But anyways, it doesn't matter. He's taking on Tyler Denny, 19-2 and 3, 1 win by way of knockout and 1 loss by way of knockout. He is coming off of a technical decision win against Felix Cash, as accidental headbutt caused the cut. But if you look at his record, he has at one point fought 6 undefeated opponents back to back to back. Now, of course, he lost one and he went technical decisions with the other one, but he won the other one, especially the rematch with the River Wilson Bent. So obviously, it means something. Not to mention, Bent also won 2 more fights and then lost to him. But his one stoppage loss was to Reese Cartwright, 21-0 and 21-1, 8th round stoppage win. His other draws came early on in his career, so we'll just forget about that. But speaking of River Wilson Bent, that's another opponent that Sheeraz has fought. 2nd round stoppage win, but of course you can't blame him. This guy has power. He's 6'3" for some reason. Goddamn. And, well, you know, nothing much to it. One person beat him by decision because that's what he does. The other one beat him by knockout because that's what he does. But he is coming off the best win of his career against Austin Emma Williams, 11th round stoppage win, which is whatever. He also beat this guy, 13-0. And his other records, look good. Unfortunately for Denny, he'll be facing a goddamn giant with pretty much good defense and power. Unfortunately for Denny, he's going to get ran through. I don't see a place where Denny outboxes him for 12 rounds because that's not going to happen. He's done it against other people, but just not against this guy. He's too damn big. He won't lose, like, 6th round stoppage. I just think, I don't know. He's going to run through him. Putting him up against a 6'2" giant with power, that's his. You just want him to lose at this point. Goddamn. But anyways, the main event. No more dilly-dallying. The main event. Anthony Joshua will be taking on Daniel Dubois for Daniel Dubois' IBF World Heavyweight World title. I think it still says interim, but they already stripped Usyk, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be champion. But Daniel Dubois is 21-2, 20 wins by way of knockout and 2 losses by way of knockout. Of course, he is coming off of 2 great wins against Jarrell Miller, 10 seconds until the fight was over, TKO victory, and Filip Hrgovic, 8th round stoppage win. And of course, before that, he has great opponents on his record. Of course, his 2 losses come by Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk, where both times they questioned Dubois' heart as he got dropped. I think he got dropped by a jab in both fights. So, yeah, literally, Dubois KO'd by left jab. Usyk basically dropped him with a short shot himself, but whatever. But he'll be taking on the former two-time unified world champion Anthony Joshua, 28-3. 1 loss by way of knockout and 25 wins by way of knockout. Of course, his 3 decision wins come by Jermaine Franklin Jr. as his comeback after losing to Usyk back-to-back. Andy Ruiz after losing to Andy Ruiz beforehand, losing his unified world titles, then becoming the two-time unified world champion. And the very much durable Joseph Parker. But anyways, he is coming off of weird wins. Of course, Jermaine Franklin Jr., he went decision. Close fight. Not close fight, actually. But he then knocked out Robert Helenius in the 7th round. Then beat Otto Wallin 5th round, the stoppage, in a not competitive fight. And then he beat the 0-1 Francis Ngannou via 2nd round stoppage. Well, at least Ngannou got paid twice, so that's always good. But he got his hands full as he's fighting the knockout artist Daniel Dubois. The difference is, not too many people are picking Dubois, and it makes sense. Dubois, don't get me wrong, he has all these stoppage wins, but, seem to come early, I guess. But when he faces better competition, he starts going in the second half. Don't get me wrong, he had this long streak after the Joyce win and Joyce loss and before the Usyk loss. Good fighters, I guess. But weirdly enough, in the Miller and Hrgovic fight, the power wasn't really there in the first half, but in the second half, it really just started to pile up. He basically beat these guys by accumulation of damage. As the first half, don't get me wrong, they're strong punches. It just doesn't really looks like it affects them. Well, Joshua, he can affect you with a punch in the first half and the second half. So obviously, he's more dangerous throughout the fight. Not to mention, this is technically the new and improved AJ as well. He seems to be more calculated. Not too timid like he was after the Ruiz fight, but not too aggressive like he was before his first loss. He seems to be more technical, I guess you could say. He was always technical. He was an Olympian, right? But it seems that he's finally put the power and the skill together, as people would say. And, of course, that's bad news for Dubois. As, don't get me wrong, Dubois seems like a nice guy. Dubois needs to close the distance, while Joshua does not. He can fight at range. He can also fight close, but that will most likely benefit Dubois. Joshua has more than enough power to hurt Dubois coming in, especially because he was doing it at some points against the Usyk and Wallin and Ngannou and Helenius. Don't get me wrong, he was touched up in the Helenius fight, but that was he improved from that. So what I'm trying to say is I like Dubois. He seems nice. I think he's a world champion at this point. He loses 6th round stoppage loss against Anthony Joshua. I think he gets caught with some uppercut or something, and he gets stopped. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be a decently good fight, but he's going to poke at him until he breaks him down and just knocks him out. Kind of competitive. Not too competitive, though. But anyways, I got Willie Hutchinson defeating Joshua Baty. I think, 8th round stoppage win? Or 10th round, I don't care. One of those rounds. I got Cacace winning decision against Warrington, hopefully. Hamza Sheeraz running through Tyler Denny. 5th round stoppage? I don't care. Right. First half. He's going to knock him out in the first half. And Anthony Joshua stopping Daniel Dubois in the 6th round. In a firework fight, I guess you could say. But, oh well. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Shots like that, a simple short shot, put the fighter down. 5, 6, 7.